And for more on immigrant rights and safety, I'm joined by Jessica Vaughan. She's the Director of Policy Studies at the Center for Immigration Studies. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Jessica, let's focus a little bit on the New York story first. New York's Governor Cuomo is encouraging and empowering citizens to affect change by having these placards distributed with the top 5 things to ask when entering a nail salon. And he wants those who spot violations to just walk out or take their business elsewhere. Some of these questions are workers being paid at least the minimum wage and overtime? Is appropriate protective equipment provided to workers and used? How likely is it that consumers will come in, ask these questions, and then take action?
Well, I think there will be consumers who are interested in asking these questions. I don't think they're necessarily going to get honest answers from the proprietors, because the proprietors of some of these businesses are looking to cut costs however they can. And what we've found through our research is that when they're breaking workplace rules and breaking immigration rules by hiring illegal workers, they're usually breaking all kinds of rules. They're lying to the government already. So it's not likely that they're going to be honest with their clientele about it. I think the better thing for consumers to do is to talk to the workers, observe things, observe their interaction between the workers and the proprietor. But definitely, I do think consumers should not patronize the businesses that are not treating their workers well and that are hiring illegal workers.
And Jessica, is this something that we do see consumers doing? Are consumers really likely to take that kind of proactive action, not just in this instance, but in instances in general? Do you actually see consumers preferring to fight for workers' rights through not supporting these businesses at the cost of perhaps higher prices to themselves?
Yes, I think consumers will respond. I know I do, and I have made it a real point of only patronizing businesses that are complying with the law if I have a way of knowing that. And I do ask questions, and when I talk to people about it, I find that they want to do so as well, and they're eager to find out how to do it, what to ask, and where to get information from other sources about which are the rogue employers. So absolutely, I think more and more that's going to happen.
Now, one of the big problems is that these workers are in the U.S. illegally, the vast majority of them are. So what is the bigger violation? Is it not paying minimum wage? Is it creating a hazardous work environment? Or employing workers illegally? Or in fact, working illegally? How can the government intervene when the workers are here illegally too?
Well, the problem in New York, all of these violations are intertwined. As I said, we find that an employer who's willing to hire illegal workers is willing to pay them too little. They don't care about safe working conditions. And so when the government is attentive to all of these violations, it will help. But the big issue in the room here is that there are so many illegal workers in places, especially like New York City. And that's where I think the Governor Cuomo's proposed reforms fall short, and Mayor de Blasio's. The fact is that they have created a sanctuary that attracts illegal workers and allows employers to get away with bypassing legal workers and American workers in favor of hiring illegal workers. And that's the real problem, is the availability and the fact that the government of New York City and New York State. This is a prevailing trend.
This is a prevailing trend not just in New York, but in other states with other types of work and workers, and in fact in other countries. So what can you do when you do have illegal workers doing work for less and for poorer conditions and pay, just for the opportunity to be in that country? How can that ever be tackled effectively?
Well, we've done it before. We've been successful at reducing levels of illegal employment by going after the employers and forcing them to comply with laws through audits of their payroll, through investigations, and by reducing the supply of illegal workers overall. All of this will help those legal workers and Americans who want to work in these professions, that employers will not be able to get away with mistreating them when they have to compete for legal workers. It's just one part of the problem, but it's a very important part of the problem.
Okay, unfortunately, we're out of time. We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much, though, Jessica Vaughan, Director of Policy Studies at the Center for Immigration Studies.